Donald Trump Jr. gave a speech yesterday at a conservative conference in Texas, but it got so bad at a point that the crowd turned on him, mocking him with silence, and he basically started crying.
You know, Texas has always led the charge. Well, till about like a couple months ago, and then Austin sort of took over. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, Texas was leading the charge. You're still top 25. But we got to work on that stuff because those people have lost their minds. Right? The people's...
And so you can see Donald Trump Jr. there having absolutely no political instinct, not being funny, and absolutely breaking down when the crowd doesn't cheer for him there. He tries to make fun of Texas in Texas. Like, this is why Donald Trump Jr., despite the fact that in some polling, he's often near the top of the GOP pile in 2024 when his dad is taken out, I don't know if he has the political instinct to ever be president, because even Donald Trump knows not to make fun of Texas when you're in Texas. Trump Jr. doesn't get it. So he's getting applause through other parts of the speech when he makes fun of Hunter Biden or makes fun of the Democrats or whatever. So the crowd is clearly accessible to him. But then here, it's the most awkward silence I've ever heard. And he is looking around the room. He doesn't know what happened. How could his super hilarious joke not have landed? And it really shows a man that doesn't have a grasp on reality. And you could see it in that second part of the clip there I showed you, where he's basically trying to laugh, trying to sort of make gestures to the crowd as they stare at him, gawk at him in pitiful silence. And he's smiling and he's laughing supposedly, but everyone on Twitter said what I was thinking and what you're likely thinking while watching it, which is that this dude is crying. He's almost crying out of nervous laughter on stage in front of thousands of people, in front of what is probably one of the most pro-Trump audiences you're going to get, which is a CPAC convention in Texas. So there we have it, right? And it gets even worse, really, because later on in the speech, he tries to attack Hunter Biden for using drugs when we all know this is the biggest projection you're ever gonna see.
I say that and they say, oh, you're making fun of people with addiction. I go, let's just talk about this for a second. I totally understand addiction. It's terrible. We all know people that have suffered from it. It doesn't absolve you from being a total piece of garbage in every other aspect of your life. It doesn't absolve you from selling access to the highest power levels of government. It doesn't absolve you from selling out your country.
And so can you believe that, folks? I don't even need to say anything more. This really shows how Don Jr. has absolutely lost it. Don Jr. has the gall to say to people that addiction doesn't give you the excuse to not be an a-hole when he's the one that's used all of these substances and has often gone out in public and been an asshole to millions of people. So let's be clear, he absolutely bombed in front of a pro-Trump audience, showing that the Trump kids have even less charisma and intelligence maybe than their father. That's a low bar.